You want me to put that on my todger?
Harry's wife. Only idiots think they are in love. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. The always forthright Lady C, Lady Colin Campbell, stated just recently in an interview with GB News that Harry and Harry's wife are presenting a professional facade to the world, and that it's another con, that only idiots think that they are in love. What Lady C was talking about is how the relationship is in trouble and that divorce beckons. However, from time to time, they put out a carefully manufactured professional facade which makes them seem like they are together. This may well be the case, but what about the concept of love that she has referred to? What about the fact that she believes only idiots think that they are in love? Well, she's correct. Harry certainly does love his wife. He is capable of love, and he believed that he had met the most wonderful woman in the world. Plucked from his misery of being the spare, along came a spider and told him everything he wanted to hear, in terms of flattering him, mirroring his interests, talking about how wonderful Africa is, for example, but then never going back there ever again, complimenting him on his looks, on his sex technique, on his jokes, whatever it might be. She expressed false compassion for his circumstances. She supported him with regard to his endeavours, told him he deserved better, poured poison in his ear to make him believe that he was trapped within the royal family and that a better path awaited him, as she sought to draw him away from the world that he'd only ever known and pop him into a cage where she could control him, free of the interference of family members. Harry fell for it, hook, line, and sinker, like many victims of narcissists do. A combination of the fact that he's not particularly bright, but, more importantly, the presence of his emotional thinking, which caused him to be completely blind to what was going on. He wouldn't know about the red flags of narcissism, and even where there may have been an occasional red flag where he thought, that's a bit strange, he'll have discounted it. Take, for example, when one of his friends talked about how nuts Harry's wife was, he just batted that away by saying, but she's so hot. His head was turned by the lashings of spicy poontang, the supposed compassion for his vulnerabilities that she exhibited, and he fell for her big time. Initially, many people were happy for Harry, thinking he's had a considerable amount of tragedy in his life, tragedy that wouldn't want to be visited upon anybody. Good for him that he's found someone. Good for him that he's going to be happy. And happy he was, at least initially, as all victims are as a consequence of the appearance of the golden period. Thus, he does love his wife. Unfortunately for him, his love has been predicated on an illusion. He's been sold something which simply didn't exist, and he never realized that. He probably still hasn't worked it out. And even now, when he's experiencing all of the various malign manipulations which are associated with sustained devaluing behavior, in those circumstances, he still continues to love her because he has emotional empathy and he has the capacity to love. But what about Harry's wife? She never loved him, doesn't love him, will never love him. She is a narcissist. And we as narcissists are devoid of emotional empathy. Some of us have cognitive empathy, but we don't have any emotional empathy, and therefore we are incapable of exhibiting love in the way that you understand it to be. Or rather, more accurately, we are incapable of feeling and behaving with that love. What we do instead is create the narcissistic version of love, which is the showy type. As I've explained to you before, much of what you read in novels, in poetry, what you see in films and on television, what you hear in songs, which is all about that sweeping, majestic, do or die, I'll walk to the ends of the earth for you kind of love, is a manifestation of the narcissistic version of it. It has to be dramatic. It has to be amazing. It has to be soaring to the highest heights in order to overwhelm you, to immerse yourself in the fantasy that we have created so that we can wrap those tendrils of control around you. That is what Harry's wife did to Harry. She created an approximation of love. She truly does believe that she loves him. She says as such, but words come easy, don't they? She believes that she loves him because her narcissism tells her that she loves him in order to compel her to behave in a particular way so that she then controls him, draws fuel from him, gets those character traits and residual benefits. By contrast, where the narcissist is fury, that fury is ignited again to bring you under control and draw fuel from you, possibly gain character traits and residual benefits. Love just operates in a similar way. The narcissist does not love their victim. Their behavior demonstrates that cannot be the case. And as I've explained so many times, the narcissist does not love you and then fails to love you. The narcissist never loved you to begin with, because somebody who abuses you never loved you to begin with. People who genuinely love do not abuse over and over again. It is not the case that they're capable of love and it goes wrong. They never loved you to begin with. Thus, their marriage is a one-way street when it comes to the issue of love. Harry loves his wife, and as that element of being a love devotee, his emotional thinking corrupts it to keep him in the game. She continues to dole out some love for him during a respite period and then snatches it away cruelly during devaluation. She'll tell him, "I don't love you anymore," or "I don't love you right now," in order to provoke a reaction from him. Those of you who have been ensnared by a narcissist will be fully familiar with the way that love is used to ensnare you and then is used against you. She will repeatedly also use his own love against him by saying, "If you truly love me, Harry, you would do this for me," or "If you love me, Harry, you'd stop doing this." All again, those methods of control that she has to utilize. Those who look upon their marriage and think that they are in love truly do not understand narcissism and have failed to see what is happening. The evidence is available to demonstrate that she doesn't love him, and yet there are those that persist in believing that this is a magical, love-filled marriage. It is not. And after watching this video and hearing my careful dissection of the way that the narcissist behaves and is without love, if you continue to believe that theirs is a marriage that is filled with love, then you are indeed, as Lady C suggested, an idiot. But you aren't, because you understand, because you watch and digest my work and grasp the concepts contained therein. And thus, oh happy day, you are an idiot-free zone as a consequence of being furnished with the knowledge from me, H.G. Tudor, the Ultra. Thank you for listening.